Lesson 69. Thorough. Thoroughly. What does the word thorough mean?
The word thorough means complete.
In which season of the year do people generally give their houses a thorough cleaning?
People generally give their houses a thorough cleaning in spring.
If you jumped into the sea, would you get thoroughly wet?
Yes, if I jumped into the sea, I'd get thoroughly wet.
What kind of things make you thoroughly tired?
The kind of things that make me thoroughly tired are hard physical work, studying a lot without a break, not enough sleep, etc.
Accident. By accident. If you drove a car on the left-hand side of the road in America, France, etc., instead of on the right, what would happen?
If I drove a car on the left-hand side of the road in America, France, etc., instead of on the right, I'd have an accident.
Have you ever seen an accident on the road?
No, I've never seen an accident on the road.
If you took something by accident that didn't belong to you, what did you do?
If I took something by accident that didn't belong to me, I'd return it.
Careful. Careless. Carefully. Carelessly. Do people become careless when they're in great danger?
No, people don't become careless when they're in great danger. They become very careful.
Do you write carefully?
Yes, I write carefully.
What could happen if you were careless when crossing the road?
If I were careless when crossing the road, I could have an accident.
Of all the people you know, who dresses the most carelessly?
Of all the people I know, my father dresses the most carelessly.
Own. Do you own all the clothes you're wearing, or do any of them belong to somebody else?
I don't own all the clothes I'm wearing. Some of them belong to somebody else.
What would you like to own more than anything else?
I'd like to own a flat more than anything else.
Who owns the place where you live?
I don't know who owns the place where I live.
Carry on. Retire. Do people in your country usually carry on working after they reach the age of 65?
No, people in my country don't usually carry on working after they reach the age of 65. They retire.
Prize. Have you ever won a prize for anything?
No, I've never won a prize for anything.
To. Give me a sentence with the word to, meaning also.
He wants a biscuit and I want one too.
At least. Give me a sentence with the words at least in it.
I've asked him at least 6 times and each time he has forgotten. He didn't do very well in the exam, but at least he passed.
Widely. Which is one of the most widely used English adjectives?
One of the most widely used English adjectives is nice.
Is English the most widely spoken language in the world?
Yes, English is the most widely spoken language in the world.
Manner. Pig. Why are good manners so important in life?
Good manners are so important in life because they make life easier and more pleasant.
What do we mean when we say that somebody has the manners of a pig?
When we say that somebody has the manners of a pig, we mean that they have very bad manners.
Do people in very hot countries dress in the same manner as people in very cold countries?
No, people in very hot countries don't dress in the same manner as people in very cold countries. They dress in a different manner.
Asleep. Awake. Will you still be asleep at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning?
No, I won't still be asleep at 11 o'clock tomorrow morning. I'll be awake.
Will you still be awake at 3 o'clock tomorrow morning?
No, I won't still be awake at 3 o'clock tomorrow morning. I'll be asleep.
Hospital. Nurse. Who takes care of us when we're in hospital?
Nurses and doctors take care of us when we're in hospital.
Purpose. In order to. So that. Take exercise. Answer the following questions with in order to. Why do people eat?
People eat in order to live.
For what purpose do people work?
People work in order to earn money.
What must we do in order to keep in good health?
In order to keep in good health, we must sleep well, eat healthy food, take plenty of exercise, not smoke, etc.
What do you think is the purpose of living?
I think the purpose of living is to be happy and to make others happy, etc.
Give me an example of so that, please.
He put the food in the fridge so that it would stay fresh.
Notice. Are there any notices hanging up in the school?
Yes, there are some notices hanging up in the school.
Where?
On the walls.
What do they say?
They give people information.
Lane. What are the three forms of lie?
The three forms of lie are lie, lay, lane.
What's the longest you've ever lain in bed for when you've been ill?
The longest I've ever lain in bed for when I've been ill is about 5 days.
Point at, point out, indicate. What's the difference between to point at and to point out?
The difference between to point at and to point out is that we use to point at for the action of pointing the finger at an object, whereas to point out means to indicate something among different things.
What am I doing?
You're pointing at the light.
Point at the picture on the wall, please. What are you doing?
I'm pointing at the picture on the wall.
Point out the mistake in this sentence, please. I've gone to the cinema this week.
We can't say I've gone to the cinema this week. We must say I've been to the cinema this week.
What's she doing?
She's pointing out the mistake in that sentence.
Grave. In your country, do people visit their relatives' graves?
Yes, in my country, people visit their relatives' graves.
Neck. Is it bad for your neck to sleep without a pillow?
Yes, it's bad for your neck to sleep without a pillow.
Flame. Can we have a fire without flames?
Yes, we can have a fire without flames.
Flight. How long is the flight from here to Auckland?
The flight from here to Auckland is about 24 hours.